Nicaila Matthews Okome, creator of the podcast Side Hustle Pro, did a wonderful feature on ideas.ted.com where she breaks down the historical roots of side hustle culture and tips on starting a side hustle while you're already employed. I put a link down in the description box to her TED.com feature if you would like to check that out. Within her feature, she touches on two different words, necessity and aspirational. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll talk to you about 6 things you'll need to consider before starting a side hustle or picking a side hustle. If you're new here, hello, my name is Shanita. I'm a full-time educator, part-time DoorDash side hustler, and content creator here on YouTube. On this channel, we explore the strategies, tools, and tips to help you amp up your side hustle game, become more productive, as well as pay off that student loan debt faster. So if any of these topics interest you, consider subscribing. When you think about earning income based out of necessity, it's usually taken in the form of getting a second job to subsidize the income that you are already making in order to provide for yourself or for anyone else in the household. Versus if you're looking at additional income as aspirational, it's more like taking on another task that you didn't have to do in addition to your primary source of income, which then becomes a secondary stream of income that you would then consider your side hustle. Here are some of the attributes of a side hustle. It encompasses a personal interest, passion, and desire to work independently, a be your own boss mentality. It also provides an opportunity for future and long-term profit. It includes flexibility to work at one's own pace during times that works best for their lifestyle and schedule. And lastly, there really isn't any defined set of hours designated to that side hustle. Now, notice I provided some type of monetary aspect to those attributes. Otherwise, it would be just considered a hobby. And many side hustles do form out of hobbies. Now, the attributes of a part-time job has its pros as well. It's a supplemental source of income. It typically has a start and stop time or a rotational shift schedule, typically fewer than 30 hours per week. It may provide no real aspirational desire to grow and develop in a particular skill set or labor market. And it can be simply a means to an end to provide and make ends meet financially. Understanding these two things will help you determine whether you need a part-time job or if you would just like to pick up a side hustle. So once you've got those two things sorted out, here's what you need to ask yourself. How soon do you need the money? Some of the videos that I've seen here on YouTube show you ways to start a side hustle, but it involves things like building an e-commerce website, sales funnels, and things like that. And all that is great, but that does require time to build those systems and a process to get the ball rolling to where it does become profitable. So you'll have to give yourself some wiggle room for the learning curve that will happen in order for you to see the profit ahead. So for example, one of the reasons for why I like gig economy work like DoorDash is because the barrier to entry is low. I'll leave a link below to the requirements for dashing. The next question is to ask yourself, why? Are you doing this because you would like to learn something new? Or are you doing it to achieve a financial goal? And that goal could be anything from buying something new, like a house or going on vacation, or it could be something like paying off your student loans. Now, whichever answer suits you, it will also determine whether you're in this for the long game or short term. Do you have the means to wait for your income to increase with time? This applies to getting those clients, getting that blog going, or that YouTube channel. It may be more of a service-based hustle, coding for others, or editing video content. Next is to be real with yourself and ask yourself, what will you absolutely not do for money? Because let's face it, if you don't want to do it, chances are other people don't want you to do it either. So for me, the realization of things that I just did not want to do was lifting heavy objects and being in a very highly customer service driven environment. So for example, I don't do many Walmart orders simply because it's unclear as to what you'll be delivering to the customer. Sometimes it'll say things like you have 30 items to pick up, but then it doesn't tell you what exactly those items are. I mean, like 30 items of what? Bottled water, bags of dog food. And then where am I going with these 30 items? Am I going to be required to bring him up 30 flights of stairs? There are too many variables when picking up Walmart orders. And because there's too many unknowns, I don't tend to do those very often, but every once in a while I will. The other piece of this is being in a highly customer service driven environment. Because I have a full-time career in education, I'm also drained by the time I'm done with that job. Therefore, I needed to have a hustle that didn't require me to be so on all the time and be able to work at my own pace. With DoorDash, you have the ability to text message the customer or make a quick phone call to the customer. But the primary role is to go and pick up the food, put it in your car, and bring it to the customer. Many customers prefer that you not make any contact at all. So by leaving the food at the door for them and ringing the doorbell and leaving. I'm all for that. The next question to ask yourself is, what kind of time do you have? I touched on this in one of my earlier videos where I was trying to figure out how much time in the day would I have to achieve my overall goal. So some of the factors that are included in what kind of time do you have are, what are your responsibilities? What are some of the top priorities that you have going on in your life that may limit your ability to do a side hustle? It's really important that you are very realistic about what you have going on and how things could change. Before I started doing DoorDash, my time was dedicated towards going to the gym after work. But because paying off student loan debt has become such a motivating factor for me, I have decided to make that my priority instead of going to the gym as often as I used to. So that may lead to you asking even more deeper questions like, how much time in the day do you have? Is there also a way you can weave your side hustle into what you already do on a daily basis or even a weekly basis? I once knew a teacher who would do Uber as a side hustle to pick people up on her way to work to the school that she worked at. And then she would pick up people again on her way home from the school that she worked at. For her, that totaled about 3 to 4 hours per day doing gig work at about $10 to $20 per hour. In one day, that was anywhere between $40 and $80 extra dollars per day doing something that she was already doing. So another way I would have approached this is if I had a dog, I would be offering up dog walking services while I was already walking my dog, or even dog sitting services, because that's something that I would have to be doing anyways with my own pet. Another question to consider when factoring in what kind of time do you have is also asking yourself the question, what times do you work best in the day? In this video, I go over what are the best times to do your side hustle. Depending on your answer, maybe doing DoorDash isn't for you, but working as a virtual assistant is. Consider you being a virtual assistant where you are working with clients that are on the opposite side of the world, meaning the times that you are working, they are sleeping. So the times that you provide your deliverables to your clients, they'll be just waking up in the morning and you'll just be going to bed. So I'm sure you're asking the question, so where can I find side hustle ideas? So I found a really great resource that even I was blown away by, and I was kind of like, why didn't I think of this? Not sponsored. I found this website called sidehustle.com. First off, what I really like about it is their interface. It's very minimal, easy to read. They have lots of research that they've already provided on each of the side hustles so that you have a relatively decent understanding of some of these ideas when considering side hustles that work best for you. While it's not exhaustive, it's pretty extensive. And they even have a quiz that you can take that's similar to the questions that I'm asking you that will then help curate the right side hustle fit for you. I'll leave a link in the description box below so that you can explore this website for yourself. As a reminder, I've left all the details of the things that we've talked about in today's video in the description box below. If you'd like to get caught up on some of the other topics I've covered here on my channel, I'll leave my most recent video here, as well as YouTube's recommended video here. And consider hitting the subscribe button here. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.